Hello and welcome to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Stephanie Bristow. I'm glad you've made time between studying for finals and working on anthropology dioramas to watch tonight. This is our season finale and it will be a special one. We'll hear from Morgan Stair and Molly Raker one last time before they graduate, and Andrew Bennett will get you ready for summer. First, let's take a look at Hollywood headlines with Ashley Lohman. Ashley?
Los Angeles hosted the 23rd Annual GLAAD Media Awards this Saturday. If you don't know what this event is, allow me to explain. GLAAD, spelled G-L-A-A-D, stands for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, and this ceremony is held in order to recognize and honor outstanding representations of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered, or LGBT, community. On Saturday, Chaz Bono, the transgendered son of the famous singing duo Sonny and Cher, and who you might remember from last year's season of Dancing with the Stars, received the Stephen F. Kolzak Award for promoting equality. His documentary, Becoming Chaz, also won the award for Outstanding Documentary. ABC's Modern Family won Outstanding Comedy Series, and Hunger Games stars Josh Hutcherson received the Vanguard Award given to individuals who have increased the visibility and understanding of the LGBT community for his work co-founding the tolerance group Straight But Not Narrow. Speaking of the Hunger Games, as many of you may know, Gary Ross will not be directing the next installment in the series. Instead, it looks like Lionsgate might be looking to Francis Lawrence to take over directing Catching Fire. Lawrence, who also works on music videos for artists like Jennifer Lopez, Britney Spears, OK Go, and Green Day, is known for his work with Constantine, I Am Legend, and most recently, Water for Elephants. The final decision has yet to be confirmed. However, something that has finally been confirmed pertaining to a few certain superheroes, Marvel and DC fans may have a reason to briefly set aside their differences on May 4th, because the rumors of the third and final The Dark Knight Rises trailer being released with a preview reel before the Avengers are true. This actually isn't the first time this has happened, though. If you remember, back in 2008, the third trailer for The Dark Knight played before Iron Man. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about both of these movies, not to mention The Amazing Spider-Man, due for release on July 3rd. I'm more than ready for this summer of superheroes.
Thanks, Ashley. It looks like we're going to meet our Hunger Games quota again this week. Only a couple more mentions, and I think we'll be there. Now, for the past few weeks, we've ranted and raved about everything in Hollywood that bothers us. We don't want to be too negative here at The Real Deal, so let's praise Hollywood for once. Take it away, Ryan.
Previously on The Rant, we've complained about everything from 3D conversion to films that were released years after they've been filmed. But today I'm going to talk about something good, or rather, someone I think who is sure to enliven the film industry. And that person is none other than Joss Whedon. Whedon has primarily been known for his television creations like Angel and Firefly, but his big screen credits have never taken off like they should have. He was a writer on the original Toy Story, and he was the one who figured out how to convincingly bring Sigourney Weaver back for another Alien movie after her character died in a lava pit in Alien 3. But beyond that, Whedon has never gotten the respect in the movie biz that he should have been afforded. For everyone who loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer the series, someone hated the guilty pleasure of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, which co-starred everyone from Pee Wee Herman to a pre-Oscar Hilary Swank. 2012 is sure to be the year to change it all for Whedon and give him the respect he deserves. He's already impressed me with The Cabin in the Woods, now in theaters. Whedon co-wrote the screenplay and flip-flopped on whether he would direct. Finally, his co-writer Drew Goddard took over the reins, directing it. But everything about The Cabin in the Woods feels so fresh and Whedon-esque. And the last 30 minutes of the film was an all-out apocalyptic dream for any horror movie fan. After seeing Cabin, I'm now reinvigorated to see The Avengers out this summer. Avengers was a film I was already getting a little fatigued from, just from the promotion. And since there are several different well-established superheroes in the film, the promotion has been relentless. Knowing Whedon wrote and directed The Avengers this time, I can't wait to see his take on the superhero genre, in a time when superhero films are progressively becoming stale. And I'm guessing after The Avengers becomes the critical and financial success it's destined to be, everyone will be looking towards Whedon to see what he'll be up to next. In a time when remakes and reimaginings rule the multiplex, Whedon still proves there's room for creativity. Go see The Cabin in the Woods ASAP, and I'll see you in line this May for The Avengers.
Thanks, Ryan. Firefly fans can rest easy now. The Real Deal has finally given Joss Whedon the respect he deserves. Hopefully, Abed Nadir will stop writing in weekly complaints. Let's move on to the box office report, where I'm sure we'll find Hunger Games rear its money-making head. Roll it.
What is that gadget? This is an iPhone.
iPhone?
Uh-huh.
Hello? Hello? There's nobody there.
I volunteer as tribute.
You're stronger than they are.
There's 24 of us, Gail. Only one comes out. No! Take care of them, Gail. Whatever you do, don't let them starve.
You should be kissed every day, every hour, every minute.
Where did you get that?
Your boy Logan had it.
I should have told you. I tried. I didn't know how.
I could use a nightcap. She has this 5-date rule before I get invited up.
We like friends without benefits.
She thinks I'm a chef on the rise. She's going to run when I tell her the truth. I'm totally screwed.
Welcome back. Morgan Stair has entertained and informed Real Deal viewers with his top 5s. Unfortunately, it's time for him to move on to bigger and better things. We hope. This week, Morgan has his final top 5 for you. Make it count, Morgan.
Thanks, Stephanie. Well, this is it, my last top 5. As I leave the Real Deal and enter the real world, I can't help but feel a little nostalgic. I've grown quite close to several colleagues while working on this show, and I'd like to thank each one of them for being my friend. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank television. Television is the reason we're all here tonight. It's our shared love for TV that makes the Real Deal possible. So for my final top 5, I'm going to count down the 5 most influential shows of my entire life, 1989 through 2012. Number 5, Power Rangers. Forget the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm a Power Rangers kid through and through. Watching those teenagers constantly defend Angel Grove from Lord Zed made me look forward to the day that I became a teenager. I even took some karate lessons in hopes of getting recruited by Zordon. It was my first introduction to stories about good versus evil, and that's why the Power Rangers holds a special place in my heart. Also, that song is just full of win. Number 4, South Park. This one is special and different from the others because it's still actively influencing me right now. Since middle school, I've been keeping up with this show, and there's no end in sight. Sure, I was originally enticed by the foul language and toilet humor that are staples of South Park, but if you look past that, the show offers biting political satire and honest, mature observations about the world we live in, disguised in vulgar, seemingly immature packages. Most conservatives don't get the joke, and that's why it's awesome. I hope South Park outlives The Simpsons. Number 3, Lost. As anyone who has watched it will agree, Lost is more than just a show. It's a roller coaster, a sanctuary, a puzzle, an addiction, a way of life. It makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about the ways the story can be told. Lost wove a ridiculously intricate web of plot lines, characters, mythologies, and timelines, spanning across decades and seldom told in a linear fashion. All the way to the end, Lost kept us guessing, theorizing, and the series finale was incredibly satisfying. And to those of you who weren't satisfied with the finale, well, enjoy being eaten alive by your cynicism and astronomically high expectations until you die alone. Number 2, Thomas the Tank Engine. Before I had any idea who the Beatles were, I knew who Ringo Starr was. He was Mr. Conductor, of course, and that's who he will be to me always. I think the fact that I was somehow able to overlook the fact that none of the train's mouths ever moved when they talked speaks volumes about the storytelling prowess and brilliant writing of Thomas the Tank Engine. Or maybe I was just a baby and didn't know how to question things yet. But in any case, Thomas is what my parents decided to put up on the TV screen for me during my young, impressionable years, and therefore its mark will forever remain on my brain, for better or for worse. And number 1, All That. Truthfully, pretty much all of the shows that were on Nickelodeon during the 90s had a big impact on me. But All That stands out from the group. The cast members felt like my friends. They could be in the dumbest, silliest, worst-written sketches, and I'd still be laughing, because it was all about the chemistry of the cast members, not about the production value. Sounds like Saturday Night Live could really use a few pointers from All That. I mean, they already got Keenan, right? Also, All That was responsible for my first crush, the now drunk-driving Amanda Bynes. Ah, young love. The Amanda Show and Keenan and Kel were both excellent byproducts of All That, and so was the joy that the show gave me as a kid. So thank you, All That. That's it for my top 5. While there's comfort to be found in nostalgia, it's important to keep an open mind for new things on the horizon, like new South Park episodes, for instance. For The Real Deal, this is Morgan Stair signing off. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thanks for all the laughs, Morgan. Maybe next year you can make a special guest appearance and tell us the top 5 reasons not to leave college. It's time to take a quick break, but don't worry, we'll keep you entertained through it. Here's some trivia to wrinkle your brain. With us again. Finals are just around the corner, and unless your classes consist of pottery making and wine tasting, I'm sure you're in ultimate study mode. Luckily, Andrew Bennett has a few movie suggestions that will kick you into the summer vacation mindset. We recommend you don't watch these until after all your finals, just to be safe.
Summer's coming up quick, but you might find it a little hard to get into the summer mindset with work or school taking up all of your time. I have some movie recommendations that will surely get you ready for the summer months. First up is The Sandlot. This not only works as a great summer movie, but also a decent sports film. It follows the summer adventures of a group of kids who are just trying to be kids. They play baseball together and learn some great life lessons. There isn't much more to it. It's a fun movie and a great way to relive some childhood memories. Next is National Lampoon's Vacation. You might not have time to take a well-earned vacation this summer, so why not live one through Clark Griswold? The movie stars Chevy Chase as a man who is just trying to give his family the perfect vacation. Of course, this is not as easy as it sounds. You will love watching the Griswolds trying to overcome every obstacle thrown their way to get to the happiest place on earth, Wally World. Vacation will help you relive your own family vacation experiences or even inspire you to take your own. And finally, Dazed and Confused. Whether you're 6 years old or 22 years old, the last day of school is one of the best days of the year. Dazed and Confused is about a high school celebrating the end of the school year in the 70s. Unlike the last movies, this won't help you relive any childhood memories, but it might bring back some recent memories. It has everything you would expect high school teenagers to do during the summer. I won't go into any more details, but it's pretty much about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The movie also features a young Matthew McConaughey in probably his most memorable role. That's all the recommendations I have for now. Enjoy your summer. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Andrew. Now, last season, a certain someone at The Real Deal dedicated herself to watching as much television as possible so she could tell you what was best. After 2 years, she finally has to call it quits. In her final Real Deal appearance, I present to you Molly Raker and Molly's episode of the week.
Thanks, Stephanie. Now, this is my last episode of the week. Now, don't cry. It's going to be okay. We'll get through this. Now, the last title of my episode of the week, this comes to no surprise, it's Community. It has taken this title many times before, and there is only one way I can express my love for this show. Molly and Alex in the morning! Alright guys, now today we're going to be talking about Community. In their last episode, it all took place in the Dreamatorium. Now Alex, was this a good idea or did it crush your dreams?
You know what? I think it worked, Molly, because it put the characters in a new setting that wasn't the study room or the college. Now, they've had a lot of great adventures at the college, but I think this will work in the future.
Yeah, I really like how they're going literally outside the box and not depending on one-liners. But the one thing I really loved about this episode, you want to guess, Alex?
What is it, Molly?
It was their effects. This is a little-known NBC comedy that gets like 3.5 million viewers, and it had way better effects than the #1 movie in America, The Hunger Games. And if you don't believe me, I'm just going to show you a clip that it's going to prove that I am right.
Yes, a clip will do. Roll it, Greg.
The sooner the food comes, the sooner this will be over.
I'm afraid your food won't be ready for another half hour. I'm too busy misunderstanding the whole point of Die Hard.
I can't wait to get home to Abed.
So you can dart back and forth doing impressions of your friends. There's no science at work here.
You're right.
Come on, those effects were amazing. I am totally right on this one. Hunger Games, $90 million budget, and their effects look like a college project. I bet I could even do it. But the Community episode, it made it look like it had a...
Calm down. Let's get back on track. Back to the episode. Now, this episode introduced the Troy and Britta relationship, or what I like to call the Tritta. Now, yay or nay on this couple?
You know what, that's a very tricky question, Alex, but I'm gonna have to say yay. Just because Troy is just so darn cute crushing on Britta, and I just want to pull for him. Even though Britta, I'm not a huge fan of. So, let's take this to the audience. Go online and vote yay or nay on this relationship.
We'll take a look at the results later in the show. Now, you know what I love about Community and what makes it so great? We're really diving into the characters' emotions and heads, and they're becoming more than just one-dimensional comedy characters.
Yeah, more than what 2.5 Men can do.
You know what? Let's show a clip to show what I'm talking about.
Inside a locker. It's where I spent a lot of time in junior high.
You think this is where we'd put you? You know that's absurd, right?
Well, I'm not stupid. You can see I've increased the square footage. It's a metaphorical locker. It's a place where people like me get put when everyone's finally fed up with us.
Abed, so maudlin. If you start turning into a vampire...
I've run the simulations, Annie. I don't get married. I don't invent a billion-dollar website that helps people have sex. I don't make it into Sundance, Slam Dance, or Dance Pants. Troy invents Dance Pants in 2019. Don't tell him. He needs to stumble onto it.
Now, if we have to come to an end of our love fest of Community, but before we go, let's check on that poll, Alex.
Ooh, looks like a tie.
We're just gonna have to see where the relationship plays out. All right, that's all we have for you today. Until next time.
Really? You guys are doing this again? There's no one watching.
I can't work like this.
Now it's time to go to my honorable mention, which goes to the HBO show Game of Thrones. And what I really love about the show is they just don't let what happens in the last episode go away, even if it's like a little thing. I love how they brought back Robb Stark's paper that was supposed to save him but eventually killed him. But what I really like is people are smart in this show. I'm really proud of Arya actually saying that they killed the king's illegitimate child while actually he was standing right next to her. Way to pull a fast one on them. Alright, this show is absolutely amazing. You all should catch up. And that is all I have for you guys today. Now, please don't cry. I might cry too, but don't cry. All right, back to you, Stephanie.
Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication, Molly. Your expertise and lovely fake tree will be greatly missed next year. Now that we've finally reached our required number of Hunger Games mentions, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll have one last Best of Bracken for the year and my final word. Get excited. Hello again and welcome back to The Real Deal. We've offered 21 recommendations for you to check out at Bracken Library this year. Let's make it 22 with one more movie suggestion from Kaylee Russell. Kaylee?
The movie Far From Heaven is about how a superficially perfect 1950s life slowly disintegrates behind closed doors. The film stars Julianne Moore, Dennis Quaid, Dennis Haysbert, and Viola Davis. Its setting is 1957 Hartford, Connecticut. The movie follows a housewife, Kathy, who on the outside is living the perfect life. She has a big home, 2 healthy children, and a successful husband. But quickly we realize that Kathy's life is not so perfect. Her husband, Frank, drinks too much and is rarely home. One night, Kathy goes to her husband's office to surprise him with dinner, only to find him kissing another man. Her life suddenly spins out of control and she can't quite grasp the reins. When Frank sees a doctor about fixing his homosexuality, there's hope in his eyes that he might be able to keep up appearances for his family and society's sake. But I, as the audience, know that his problem can't be fixed, and I must await Frank's painful realization of that fact. Later in the movie, when Frank has fallen in love with a man and he must tell his wife, all of the pent-up shame and joy that he'd been bottling pours out in a moving performance. Quaid well deserved an Oscar nomination for that scene alone. Meanwhile, Kathy opens up to her African-American gardener, who is played by Haysbert. The two begin a subtle romance, until gossip spreads that Kathy is having an affair with a colored man. In the events that follow, Kathy soon realizes the racial tensions and hypocrisy that underlie this idyllic world. By the end of the film, when everything has crumbled, Kathy has no doubts that her carefree world is actually a hell from which she cannot escape. Moore did a fantastic job portraying Kathy. I felt every emotion and suffocation that Kathy felt. I'm surprised that Moore didn't win an Academy Award for her performance. It was in every way believable, and I wish that her character could have had a happy ending. But because of that era, I knew she couldn't, and it was heartbreaking. The 1950s are usually portrayed as the heart of the American dream. Suburban life was perfect, and well, everything else was perfect too. But Far From Heaven shows just how real the 1950s were underneath the surface. Racism was prevalent, and an interracial relationship was abhorred. Homosexuality was treated like a disease, and all fighting was done in the dark, which was shown by the cinematography in this movie. Every scene in which Kathy and Frank argued always occurred at night. I thought that was a great touch. The sociological aspects of this movie are what intrigued me the most. Originally, when I read the description of this movie, I thought I'd be watching a soap opera. But each actor's performance was realistic enough where you believed that this was a seemingly perfect family experiencing a real-life crisis that could potentially ruin their lives. I definitely recommend this movie. It made me appreciate just how far our society has come since the 50s, and how far we still need to go. So check it out now at Bracken Library.
Thanks, Kaylee. For tonight's final word, I'd like to commemorate our Season 7 finale and my final show as host by taking the time to reflect on the past 4 years here at The Real Deal. It all started for my senior class with the host and executive producer of the century, Katie Bosdorf. Her enthusiasm for The Real Deal has still yet to be sought, and her pride for our crew always showed. After her departure, the fearless Keith Jackson assumed the role of carrying on our passion for movies, television, music, and entertainment news. Hope Ann Hintz did an excellent job of letting her personality shine through as our next host, while Michelle Manzo worked to make sure technical glitches were non-existent as we switched from an actual set to a virtual set. But aside from what you saw on the screen, those behind the scenes were always hard at work. Austin Luger assumed the role as writer for the show for 3 years and always put forth his best wit and charm. And speaking of entertainment, Ben Rocky stole the show with his loud and hilarious segments. And there were so many more that have added to our show. But unfortunately, that's all the time we've got. So, wait, am I forgetting a few people? I think I could still be fired, so I better mention a few more. These seniors have made The Real Deal the successful show it is today. Morgan Stair has blown me away with his infamous Top 5 segment. He always eloquently shares funny moments in entertainment and keeps you coming back for more. Molly Raker has been on our show all 4 years and has always gone above and beyond. She's done just about every production job possible, and she's kept us all up to date with her famous episode of the week. Sarah Rust has also been lifting her weight behind the scenes and even doing segments for us over the years. But what's Sarah's best job? I'd like to think making every single new member who walks into our studio feel welcome and share in the laughter. Alex Leachman always comes through as the man of the hour with his laid-back demeanor, his exceedingly handsome looks and creative new ideas. But his Pokemon knowledge is what really impresses me. And Kenny Jones has done an outstanding job as executive producer. He's constantly working on ways to improve the show and make sure everyone is getting the best possible experience. Plus, he's really gifted at writing corny emails. We're leaving our show in the hands of our fearless leader, Victoria Disk, and we know she's ready to bring the show to new heights. So thanks for tuning in to our show, letting us share our opinions, and letting me live out my dream as host. We here at The Real Deal will always be enchanted by the magic of cinema, television, and music. We hope this isn't the last time you see us. May The Real Deal continue on for years to come. For all of us here at The Real Deal, I'm Stephanie Bristow. Have a great night and a glorious summer.
I got a job for 2 years.
2 years is nothing.
Really?
We'll start planning the wedding again from there.
Babe.
We both know I deserve to get super laid for this.
Do you want me to wear a cape or something?
I want the show.
You get the Cirque du Soleil of shows.
Ooh.
Lots of this and this stuff.
That girl does not leave this city.
Let's go to war.
Do you actually think that I murdered these people?
What cannot be disputed is your imagination is the inspiration of a horrendous crime.
Pirates! Ha! We laugh in the face of danger.
I don't.
I don't really like danger at all.